Hi, good morning, Science 7. I am Mr. Whiting. I'm your Science 7 teacher. I'm ready to get started with the new unit. I hope you are too. We are at day 1. We are looking at plant cells and animal cells and their organelles. I want to go ahead and share my screen with you. And there we go. All right. Go ahead and I want to go ahead and put on my presentation. All right. So today, you're going to need your materials, Chromebook, paper. So I got my paper right here. A writing utensil, preferably a pencil if you have one. Also, the applications that you'll need. STEM Scope, you need to have that open. We went over that last week in Google Classroom. So more particular, our classroom that you'll need. So when you look at these four images that are on the screen right now, I can actually use my cursor to point toward it. When you look at what exactly, I'm wacky, what exactly do they mean? We're going to come back to this. Our objective for today, so at the end of the class, you will be dynamite with all of this. So students will be able to compare and contrast the functions of a cell's organelles and between a plant and animal cell by reviewing a diagram of a fictitious city. All right, I'm going on an adventure. So moving forward, skip. All right. So we're going to talk about a plant and animal cell. So I did show you those images of, these images earlier, but I want us to go ahead and really dive into what exactly those are. What does it mean? So a cell, if you did not know, a cell is the smallest unit of life, the smallest thing that can carry out life processes. So anything that carry out life processes, you make a lot of them together, you eventually have an organism. So you combine all those cells together. Here are my succulents so you can see them. Combine all those plant cells for instance, all these plant cells together, you have, this is my little cacti. So if you notice about a plant cell, it is a little bit more together. So plant cells do not have bones. So they have these really cool things called cell walls, which we're going to look at more in detail. So you can kind of see a cell wall on this plant cell. All right. And also a cell can actually, if you ever seen a plant go out, so this plant right here, I have to put the sun in it on this succulent, and that's how it actually gets sunlight. And that's how it gets its actual energy. So that plant cell needs, it uses its chloroplast, another organelle that does an actual job for the plant. Organelles do jobs for plants. So that cell needs to actually capture that sunlight using its chloroplast. And we have our animal cell. I'll show you my example of animal cell. All right, and we have our little friend right here. He's going to be our animal cell right here. So animal cells do not have a chloroplast. They do not need to capture sunlight for energy, or you would say food, and they do not have a cell wall. This is a little bit more pudgy, as you can see, like our friend Milford Parker. You can also see as a human, also me, I do not require a cell wall or chloroplast. And that's our two differences. So what are the at least two differences between a plant and animal cell? A plant cell needs the chloroplast to capture sunlight and needs a cell wall to maintain its structure. Animal cells do not need a cell wall. They actually have bones. So you can notice to keep its structure, keep animal cell structure, we actually have bone cells. And just reiterating right here, chloroplast. Plant cells have to capture the sunlight. Photosynthesis is a process we're going to go through more in detail later. And cell wall helps maintain its structure and shape. Animal cells do not undergo photosynthesis. They do not need chloroplast, or do not have chloroplast and don't need them. And animal cells also do not need a cell wall. All right, moving forward. Moving to our Venn diagram. Moving forward. So yeah, we're going to look at some organelles. So organelles, remember, are jobs a cell needs to have. So I'm just going to look at this real quick. So I have a Venn diagram. So remember, a Venn diagram helps us compare and contrast what we talked about earlier in the lesson. So a plant cell is right here. Remember, just to show you two things we talked about earlier, chloroplast. The organelles that a plant cell has are chloroplast and a cell wall, and also the central vacuole. So remember, plants need water. They need water. So central vacuole actually holds that water in. Versus an animal cell, at least for this class, we're not going to go over any extra organelles that they have. So for this class, at least, just for this class, animal cells, we're not going to go over any organelles an animal cell has. All right, but they do have a few extra ones. Just to be mindful of that later on. So for shared organelles, mitochondria, cell membrane, cytoplasm, nucleus, vacuoles, those are all organelles we're going to go over in detail, but that's all the ones that they share. And if you don't remember any of these organelles, both the plant and animal cell share these characteristics, are these organelles. And we're going to go in detail what these actually do for the cell, as well as why they're important for the cell, okay? All right, moving back to it. So when we go through everything, reminder, we're going to have a glossary to use, so we have every single thing together, okay? But yeah, that is cell organelles between plant and animal cell. I don't know how long that was. Oh, it's still recording. I don't know. Oh, there it is.